Yeah, how was your Coney Island adventure? It was alright. What time did you go? Like 9, 10 in the morning? Yeah.
There's nobody there.
I'm sure, yeah. It probably gets crowded like afternoon.
I think on the weekends.
Yeah.
It was dope. You should definitely go. It's very visual.
Left or right?
Yeah, I could take this camera out there, I guess, if they allow it. I wanted to go to the US Open because it just ended, but tickets for like a decent match were like $2,000. Yeah, it's crazy. How many days are you here for? Not many more? It's pretty nice today.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like, yeah, not
raining.
Exactly. Yeah, it keeps forecasting rain. Like I see it on the weather report and then it doesn't happen. All right, this is the most crowded section. All right, solid New York City traffic. I guess we have to walk around. How have you liked it so far, being out here? Has it been fun? Or? Yeah. It's an experience.
Interaction in New York, it's like everybody's ignoring everybody, but everybody's actually interacting all the time.
Oh, yeah.
In these subtle ways. There's like a culture to it. Like there's a way to walk on the fucking sidewalk in cities like this.
Yeah.
In other places, people don't even know how to do that.
For sure, yeah.
And in New York, if you're not doing it correctly, they'll let you know immediately, which is actually kind of cool.
It is cool. I thought people would be a little more harsh, but I haven't noticed that.
It's actually all about like, hey, there's a lot of us here, so can you just pay attention to everybody else, and then we can all live here together. Otherwise,
yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely not. I see a surprising amount of like, I don't know if they get paid, but they stand out here all day and will do like religious shouting, like save yourself. Yeah.
Those guys are finally gone, and they actually get to live in a warehouse somewhere, and they get sent out in the morning. And they're like,
I feel like who would volunteer all their time to do this for free? They do it in Las Vegas a lot too. Yeah, it's actually not that far. It'll get progressively more quiet these next few streets and then busy once you get to Central Park. I really like the quieter sections of Central Park, like Upper West Side entrance, Upper East Side entrance. It's less tourists. Oops, saw a head in front of me. And I wonder what those, there's so many of those top view like salespeople for these tours. They can't be making very much money at all.
Yeah, there's like a secondary Broadway show resale thing. Every kind of hustle is being tried.
Yeah. Some crazy watch dealers. I don't know if it's true, but Nick, one of the people the trader guys that comes into this stream.
He wanted you to go talk to that guy.
Yeah, but I saw some YouTube video and a guy was claiming to make like $500,000 a day. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. It's maybe his biggest day ever.
It really could be. People are crazy with the fucking watches.
Yeah, that's one of the ways to make a lot of money. Somehow appeal to social status, and people will pay whatever price to be cool.
If you look at like the Hermes business model, it's incredible, you know? Basically like you walk in the store and say, hi, I would like to buy a bag for $40,000, and they say no.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, what does it take for me to buy a bag? Like if I buy this wallet and this scarf, is that enough? And they're like, well, we can't tell you, but that's a good start. And so then you buy the wallet and the scarf, and then they're like, you're gonna buy a bike now? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, what if I buy these shoes? And then it's like after 3 months they call you and they invite you to buy a bag for $40,000.
That they made for like $300.
Yeah, or maybe like $1,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's a pretty good angle.
Yeah, exclusivity. If you can gain traction and.
Well, apparently you can immediately resell that bag immediately for like 50% more than you paid for it. But if you do that, they'll never sell you anything else, and they're like tracking the second.
I see. That's insane. It is. Well, the top like 0.1% owns so much. But I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see if anybody's joined. What's up, Nick and MK? The usual people. It's kind of tough to start doing this.
Yeah,
you know?
Cool that you're trying.
Yeah. I mean, we have such a tiny community. Like, relative to all the others, Litecoin is just so small. I feel like I know almost everyone.
Right.
Whereas in these other top cryptocurrencies.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more holders.
Yeah, online. Yeah. It just seems, relatively speaking, that there's way more actual consumers using it than speculators.
Yeah, that's a great segue to the question that I wanted to ask you. Like, what do you think the actual transactional demand right now is? Like, where do you think that's happening?
I think, you mean like geographically?
Well, yeah, either geographically or like, you know, what's the use cases, like remittances, or is it like,
what else? Like,
well, I think
who's actually using Litecoin right now?
I think most of the growth, and I'm pretty confident, came from existing people that were reliant on Bitcoin originally and that were forced off of it. Yeah, there's some like retail payments and people using it in the West, but not daily. And you see like,
that's Lightning.
yeah, I never saw Bitcoin, even though it was promoted like when I joined in 2016 as this remittance technology. It just is uncompetitive in my mind to
Litecoin or Bitcoin?
both, like long term.
You don't think it's competitive? I think it really is.
It can be, but
fees are insane. Like, do you know how much Western Union charges?
oh, I know how much they charge, but I'm just saying, like, if it was adopted as much as Western Union, they'd run into the same issue as Bitcoin.
Litecoin would?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I think credit layer networks, unless you're blocked, right? It can be useful for people that have no other option for a short term while there's pretty low demand. But that was the same thing that happened with Bitcoin early. All those people that were relying on it didn't want to pay these high transaction fees.
But who do you think those people are? Like, what are the major segments of that transactional demand, real transactional demand for Bitcoin or Litecoin?
It's hard to say because like I know where the transaction activity is happening as far as like transaction distribution and the number of real transactions and non-speculative. I have a pretty good idea of that, but as far as like geographically where it's happening, I'm kind of assuming mostly not in the West. And I'm basing that off of the fact that people can just use like stable coins or other credit layer networks that are cheaper. Maybe they'll use like spend Litecoin once in a while, but they're not dependent upon it. And I think if you have access to like Venmo and PayPal, it's...
Well, but people don't. I mean, even in Europe, well, I know PayPal, I think, exists in Europe, but like Venmo, I don't think does. And, like, it's hard even just sending money between like Europe and the US versus like Indonesia. Like, forget it. Like the whole anti-terrorism paranoia thing. I mean, it's like, that's even if you have money, let alone you're like a villager or something, you know?
Yeah,
family,
for sure.
if somebody was washing dishes in New York today, you know?
Yeah, and
I personally think Litecoin has potential for remittances, but what you really need is like local coin exchange kind of guys, you know.
And those businesses have mostly been shut down.
Right, but you need those in Indonesia is what you need them. Somebody who will exchange it at the going rate for the local currency.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be useful that way.
Stephen Colbert, I thought he got canceled or something.
I think it's ending.
Oh, they just didn't renew him or whatever.
Yeah, probably too expensive.
Yeah,
I think all these places are getting out-competed by, like, just personalities online now.
That's true, yeah, true. Also, didn't he, like, have a beef with Trump and then he got canceled right after that? Something like that happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, there seemed to be some political pressure, potentially, or whatever.
That could be true. That's scary.
Yeah.
That regardless of what side you're on, if you're canceled.
Oh, totally. If the court jester can't speak freely.
Yeah.
They're handing out cookies to the people waiting for us.
But oddly for Litecoin, what's interesting is, like, if you check Google search trends, it's super high, and I don't know why, but Madagascar always shows up.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I'm thinking is like, if it just starts, like, just takes off in a market like Madagascar with real transactional, especially high inflation, local currency, like local currency crisis situation, and people are just like, hey, I can literally switch to this Instagram.
Yeah.
And then stop going back and forth between the local currency and just stay in Litecoin.
Yeah, we just need to have it so people can do it anonymously. And
do you mind watching this?
Because governments, even like when I was talking to that FlipFi guy, the guy that lives in Nigeria, people started to use cryptocurrency locally, and then they just got raided.
How did they're tracking the phone networks and like looking?
Well, they just knew that these businesses were accepting crypto instead of the local Nigerian, because they were advertising it.
Got it. Okay. And they got raided. Yeah.
And they just got shut down or like thrown in jail. So it needs to be private. I don't imagine crypto being adopted like that, at least for a while. I think the natively digital, like information-based economy where you have high value like innovators that create these AI apps that are actually technologically savvy can shield their identity much easier. And if they're at the if they're making millions of dollars a year through their services they provide, I think they'd be most apt because they're paying the highest tax rate to leave. Whereas I think a lot of local people that are running like brick and mortar stuff, they're easily targeted. You know where they are if they're accepting crypto.
Yeah, okay.
So I imagine the natively digital economy is easier to hide from governments.
Yeah. But I mean, do you see that happening in the near term in terms of an adoption? Like, so, okay,
I think
where
in 5
do you
years.
see the potential in 5 years?
5, 10 years, yeah. Because I think the rate of this, like AI development is pretty insane. In 5 years, it's like an exponential on an exponential. I've been using these tools for like 2-3 years, and it's crazy how much better they've gotten.
Didn't you once say though that you thought like the future of crypto is emerging markets?
I've said partially that.
Because I believe that. There's huge potential. It's like basically like unbanked people in developing countries.
Yeah, the unbanked thing's interesting because a lot of them don't want to be banked. It's like they want just an option outside of it. Like in Nigeria or a lot of countries in Africa, they force you to direct deposit your paycheck, and if you don't, they'll come like fine you. Yeah.
They're also super cash based. Like
they try to be because they've had so many failing currencies.
A situation like that will force people to be.
Yeah. But it's.
At least they have to like travel to your house.
Yeah. Which is weird because they actually, governments are psycho.
Yeah, and it's crazy how money is the like locus of control for governments, and like people are obsessed about like bills that they're passing and whatever, but really it's like if you follow the money.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the real control is happening, and the real theft.
Yeah, the real theft is through
The real
inflation.
taxation is inflation.
Yeah.
Come on, you know. Now these days.
For sure. We are turning into a sort of banana republic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what woke me up was in college studying, like I never really looked into the financial crisis, but in college in like 2013, 2014, I tried to understand and I listened to what all the central bankers at the time were saying, that this was like a one and done thing. And I quickly realized there's no turning back.
Oh yeah.
It'll just.
And then the COVID thing. I mean, that was just like.
I think that woke a lot of people up.
Illusion that was not a.
Yeah.
That was some kind of reversible back to normal.
No. I think once you expand credit this far and have low interest rates this long, you know, if you reverse course, like the economy's gonna, all these zombie companies implode. So
yeah, you said, like, well, you've said people don't understand the difference between credit and money. But like, I wanted to ask you, which, if you want to elaborate on that, I'd be interested. But, like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Specifically, like, do you think, like, is all fiat money?
No, there's still settlement in that real.
Or is it?
Well, it's just like
the policy of the central bankers that's.
Well, I think historically, it's once you trust the government with the issuance and monopolization of the money supply, where they can print a $100 bill for like 1 cent, sell it at face value. That's where the inflation tax comes from. That's like that trust has always been abused.
So you're saying that's just inherently going to end up in a credit cycle that'll pop at the end. And
yeah, and I think there's intentional obfuscation between credit and money. Like the credit became the money after the gold standard ended, right? It once was a paper receipt for some weight of gold just broke, and then the dollar became the money that everyone used. And now it's kind of happening again where we all just interact in these super large credit layers stacked on top of each other. Like even Fed wire transfers, those are credit, but it's eventually settled somewhere. People now think that banks print money, like commercial, they don't. They might have direct access to the money printer of the Fed by getting loans, but there's still settlement that happens at these large
But don't they
banks.
issue like loans that are multiples of their deposits?
That's an argument, but to me, if you're giving out money, it's just one-to-one, right? If I loan you some money, you're the bank, and then you go give it to someone else, you don't have it anymore. But you can't create like $10 if I only give you one. You can
I
just.
thought that's what they did. Like if I deposit 10
Yeah,
bucks in the bank, then they're allowed to loan 20.
Well, they don't have 20. That's my point. Is like the financial education system tells you there's this money multiplier where like $10 can create $100 in loans.
Well, I know. I mean, it's not real.
But it's correct. It's.
They don't literally print it. Oh, that's what you're saying. They're just issuing credit.
Well, they're issuing credit, but they only can do it once. They can't like give you $10. They don't have the $10 to give someone else. If they take all your money in the bank and loan all of it to someone else, they don't have any more money to get to loan out in the future. And I think that's largely where a lot of like money experts, or they call themselves experts, get confused.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this is like hard to explain is telling. It's like if something is really hard to explain, it's usually a fucking scam.
Well, it should be simple. Yeah. Like a loan is a loan. It settles in the money. You need the actual thing to extinguish that debt. But I also think governments intentionally blur the lines between these two things so that they can blame inflation on banks or blame problems on banks when it's really the government creating all the inflation. Yeah. And then you have these modern monetary theories that develop out of this. You have Keynesian economic theory that developed to support the state. Yeah, it's somewhere settlement is happening. It's just we never really interact with it unless we're using cash dollars. So that's why I think there's this confusion in crypto too, where people compare like XRP to the monetary market, and people look at Lightning as a way to scale Bitcoin when it never can. This confusion is proliferated everywhere, and we're inventing new terms like L2, staking, when all of it's just credit and lending. Because we didn't ever know in the first place. So we think we're like innovating, but people never understood the foundations of finance to begin with.
Yeah, to me, like I'm a simple person, and like I get Litecoin on a certain level enough to be like, I trust this, and I understand this enough to trust it, that there's not some kind of back-end scam happening here.
Oh yeah.
And like, I can't even say that with Ethereum or like Solana or whatever, any of that shit. I'm just like, I didn't even get it.
Oh, I know.
Proof of stake, like what? You know, like.
Well, I just looked at it enough.
And like whatever they're issuing and burning.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
It's just like their own monetary policy to try to pump the price. Yeah, I'm not a technical expert, but what makes me think we have such a long way to go is, I think only a tiny percent of the population within crypto even knows what the rules are for Bitcoin when they're running a node, or what they're even doing for validating transactions. And most people are just trusting, like, I'll just download Bitcoin Core and set it up from some third party. It's going to take a while. And if people never do that, then we will end up in the same, someone will take advantage of it, just like they did with the current monetary system.
Yeah. So wait, you said you don't think Litecoin is suitable for remittances because it wouldn't.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Into the same problem as Bitcoin.
I think
in terms of scaling.
It's good for it now, but we can go this way.
Yeah, I think right now it's like beautiful. The only problem is, your family needs your pesos or whatever. They don't need Litecoin because they can't buy anything with it.
As long as people don't assume the current regulation will stay the same, and if government attacks it, they know how to still use it. Because right now, for a while, crypto was benefiting because banking regulations were super strict, and then there was like gray area for crypto. So like, they'd allow them to send Litecoin or Bitcoin from an exchange to their family member in another country, and then they convert it on that exchange. But that can just disappear instantly.
Well, yeah, I mean, from an exchange, I mean, you can send it to wherever and then to wherever, but
Yeah, and then
yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, yeah, there's still a huge gap in understanding, I think, in terms of the transparency of public blockchains and what, you know, like chain analysis can do, let alone an NSA or whatever, CIA or whatever.
yeah, and it's tough. Like, privacy is super hard, and I don't even trust myself, even though I understand this better than 99%, to be perfectly private.
Oh yeah, no, I just assumed that there's no way that it is. It's just a question of like, how paranoid are you? Like, you know.
Yeah, so that technology needs to be enabled for mass consumption. That's what would drive crypto adoption. If it was as easy, like cash is private, nobody knows about it, people don't pay taxes, some businesses are cash only, they don't report everything. If it was easy as that to use cryptocurrency, then I think you would have mass adoption. People would say crypto only. But it's tough. And then the permissionless aspect is always very annoying to me to hear Bitcoiners talk about this.
About what? Wanting to.
How saying Bitcoin is permissionless, but then just it can be, but it's not permissionless in a permission system where it's allowed.
Of course. Well, they're definitely not on L2.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
But even if, like, people haven't really thought through what happens if a government's currency is failing, like the dollar was failing, and there was extreme clampdown. You know, first would just be put penalties on it, maybe not outright ban it, but put demurrage taxes, like 50% tax on your Bitcoin transaction or whatever, and just try to stop use. The only way that you could is by avoiding the law and just not ignoring it. And then if it's still adopted, they could try to start censoring. They have a lot of money. They could just make all the public miners censor transactions that are unapproved. And so then your transaction would never go through. So how is it actually?
Miners?
Yeah, like the public companies that are super centralized, they could just say you only can run these approved addresses.
Blocking these wallets, and if you transfer from it,
yeah, you're gonna go to jail. But it can overcome that. It's just nobody knows. It has to be decentralized black market miners and people willing to pay fees that those centralized controlled miners can't mine. That's the only way that it stays permissionless. And we're so far away from the market understanding that.
Let me see, I wrote some shit down here that I was going to talk to you about. So just in terms of scaling, like I remember at one point someone asked you how much more scalable Litecoin is versus Bitcoin. And then I mean, like with NWeb, there's a multiplier.
Yeah, because some of the transactions I think gets deleted.
And that, yeah, why does that make the bandwidth higher?
I'm not an expert in the MWeb side. I know David Burkett has explained it multiple times. I don't think it's like a huge, significant scaling improvement. I think it's
not?
not like massive where it could be mass adopted by the world and then you'd have no problems. I think
well,
it's...
yeah, definitely not the world, no.
I think it's maybe a 2x increase. It depends on how many people are using it.
That's just bare Litecoin versus Bitcoin or with MWeb?
Yeah, with MWeb. But Bitcoin and Litecoin, if without MWeb, they're the same. It's just this arbitrary trade-off between cost of running a node and cost of fees on the network. So it's like, you could just do infinite block size increases like Roger Ver and BCH were suggesting, but then you run into the problem. It's like, when do you stop? At what point do end users just stop using it because you can?
Because running a node
is so expensive.
Yeah.
And then you get centralization. You're just back to square one, back to the old political controlled system.
Yeah. So you said in terms of the scaling debate back in the day with Bitcoin that you disagreed with both sides.
Yeah.
So do you think there's another solution to scaling Bitcoin that they're
yeah, just through multiple chains.
multiple chains? Yeah.
Like horizontally, the
Right.
market will just
Right.
produce another chain,
Yeah.
and I imagine trading would happen on decentralized platforms between Bitcoin chains, and people just arbitrage security for cost. Like, okay, I don't need this much security. I'm going to pay for
Right.
the exact amount of
Right.
security I think I need. And so I see
this
Bitcoin.
is my groceries wallet, and it's,
Yeah.
it's robbed. Like,
And it's whatever.
But still, I mean, I don't even really get how much more secure is Bitcoin versus Litecoin? I mean, to me, it's like
I think they're
minimally.
Yeah, I think it's just relative to cost and market cap, but I would say it's both are overly secure given where the real transaction or economic transfers are happening, because we built a huge speculative market that's pumping up price, which is incentivizing hash rate. And security isn't just about total hash rate or
51% attack.
yeah, it's also how decentralized is that hash rate, which both are pretty
Right.
centralized. So it's I don't know, on one hand, for double spend protection, they're both overly secure, super secure. You could send millions of dollars without worrying about it. But as far as being prepared to secure against the one thing you're challenging, the state's monopoly, it's going to take a long time. The longer this casino market goes, I think the bigger the threat you're building, and the harder it is going to be for the market to overcome that later. So it's weird. There's like all these seeming like paradoxes within Bitcoin, and it's so weird because if we get into this environment that I think is eventually coming with the final round of QE and real demand, like the casino will collapse, but that's finally when real adoption is most like individuals will be most incentivized to use it. So you probably get
why?
because finally they wake up and they don't.
Tokens are going to be like losing value.
Yeah, I mean the dollar and other financial assets are losing value, and they're trying to protect.
Right. Yeah, it's
themselves.
like the same reason people used hard money, like in North Korea or Soviet Russia or whatever.
Yeah. So it's so weird. I feel like all the people that own it now, most of them will get rid of it.
Get rid of
their Bitcoin, or they'll own some government version of it.
I mean, they believe that it'll continue rising as a store of value even if there's 3 transactions a year, that it's so precious and holy that you don't need it to actually be used as a means of exchange.
That's just like a meme coin. Like a lot of people can believe in it, but if price momentum stops, and they compare it to gold, but gold actually maintained a pretty high level of monetary demand. I think it's hugely speculative now too, and I don't think we're going back to metals.
I actually prefer I like the comparison to gold, but I think Litecoin is a 30-pound brick. I'm sorry, Bitcoin is a 30-pound brick, and Litecoin is 1 ounce coins or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but to me they're like the same money.
Yeah. Well, they're the same thing, but one of them is suitable as money.
Yeah.
You know, like it's highly usable as money. Like if you are, like say you're a trader, you know, I need to buy a roll of silk from you. It's like, I'm not gonna want to chop off a piece of a brick, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna denominate, like, it's just more usable as money. And therefore, if I'm a shopkeeper, you know, a Dutch trader, I'm gonna hold coins, not a giant brick.
Yeah, if you have no use for it.
If you're a central bank, you'll hold a giant brick, sure, because it's easier to stack them or whatever.
Yeah.
Or count them, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I look at them as just maybe not the best comparison, but just like $100 bill versus a $1 bill, or $1,000 bill versus, because it is.
$10 bill is or 10 $10 bills are vastly more useful than a $100 bill.
Yeah, people might not accept it because they don't want to give you change back.
Exactly.
So that's probably the best, even though it's not super accurate. I think it's a better way to think of Bitcoin than how everyone else thinks about it right now. It's like Bitcoin is this one thing, it's unique, and then everything else is just not Bitcoin or like some scam. That's what Bitcoin maximalists believe. But I don't understand, because people should be smart enough to look at this stuff. Like if Bitcoin, for whatever reason, had a bug or something early on and the chain was just discarded, Litecoin could have been the Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Like we've had.
Yeah, then everybody would be saying, "Oh, it's the same thing."
Yeah.
It's like it's natural for me to want this thing. It's basically the same thing. They would be arguing like the exact opposite of what they're saying now.
Yeah. So it's annoying. Eventually they'll figure it out. I know all the macro guys are like believe in the store value narrative.
So I know you said you were going to go to like Wall Street and talk about money in general. And I wish I was around here for that because I'd love to hear that in person.
Yeah, I was going to go.
But like, so
next week.
Are you basically saying like any currency that's not backed by hard assets like gold or silver is inherently going to go to shit?
I don't know. It doesn't have to, but it's just historically every political system has kind of crumbled over time.
Yeah.
And then I don't really believe in backing. I think backing a money is kind of a fallacy.
It's trust me, I'm backing it. And
Yeah.
it turns out they're not. Right. So I mean, that part is, I mean, it's like what happened with the dollar.
Yeah, so I think if people stop using the money in favor of some paper that is supposedly backed by something, it's gone. It's done. Once that paper starts circulating because it's more efficient,
Right.
you don't ever know how much supply is in existence.
Right. And the thing is, everything might be fine, good enough until there's a crisis, and then suddenly the government rugs you.
Yeah, it's just like what happened with Ethereum. It's like, oh, there's a hack, we should reverse it. It's like you start politicizing everything, and then whoever is closest to that political power will do stuff for their friends.
Exactly.
And that's why we're here. But Bitcoin will not succeed unless people actually know, and there's so much marketing and money behind promoting false narratives that I kind of worry about people ever knowing. You should think that people will figure it out because their financial life might depend upon it. But I think we have a lot of like I don't know, maybe not dumbed down, but just like weak. The population seems pretty weak mentally, physically. That they're not like the founders of the US who were willing to take on the empire at the time.
I think it's results from the fact that things have been very stable relatively and relatively prosperous for the West for a very long time.
For sure.
And for like places like South Korea and Japan that joined the West.
Yeah.
But that is, in my opinion, very obviously coming to an end.
Yeah, they built a giant illusion.
Remember, currency crises and so on from like the war and Japanese occupation and so on. Like people have been occupied and invaded. It's like the money keeps changing according to who is like invading you that week or that year or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what's hard. People don't recognize until it's too late, and then everyone panics.
Right. I mean, just because America's never going to get physically invaded doesn't mean there's not going to be a currency crisis here.
Yeah, it's weird with what's going on at the White House right now. Scott Bessent, this stablecoin pushing. I saw some Russian government official talking about how they thought the U.S. was trying to flood this stablecoin market with treasury issuance to fund the government. I think it's partially true.
Can you say more? What do you mean with treasury issuance?
Yeah, I mean, it's another way to like export inflation is by getting people to adopt these stable coins. Like there's a global market for the crypto casino.
Right,
and
like these things are backed by treasuries basically.
Yeah, it's a way for them, just like all dollars, right? If more people accept dollars, the value should go up and you can print more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why life has been so good in America, is because they've been printing this money that never came back.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever said, I would like to buy a hot dog for this now in Central Park. Because it just circulates in India or Afghanistan or whatever forever until it's worn down to nothing.
Yeah, I think that's why the bubble's been able to go so long.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it. Like the people complaining about the balance of trade. It's like you were literally getting stuff for little pieces of paper, and now you're complaining that people weren't taking your stuff. Like you weren't giving anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, other than paper.
Yeah. That's. I wish the educational system economically was not so biased.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, the system is intentionally obfuscating what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because it's a scam. So it's like,
Yeah, and all the people who work for the government funded institutions have an incentive to promote what's best for them.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Central Park is so cool. It's like so huge within this giant city.
God, I can't imagine what Manhattan would be like without this.
Oh, it would be.
And especially when it's like super hot outside and you can come here and like chill on the lawn.
Yeah, it's actually pretty quiet.
I'm trying to find some of the questions that I would.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, so much fun to talk. Have a good day.
So, like we talked about suppression of Litecoin. And like price suppression and sentiment suppression. I mean, I think it's completely obvious that sentiment suppression is going on because there's all these cryptos, including Bitcoin at this point, that has marketing departments.
Yeah, Bitcoin probably has the biggest.
Litecoin doesn't have that, and so they're all talking shit, you know, repeating the same canards about Charlie sold or whatever, as if it's a bad thing. So there's sentiment suppression for sure, and I think that's really obvious. I mean, these weird Twitter handles like Harvey and like what the hell was that? You know, like the guy who just posts all day about how horrible Litecoin is. Like you're telling me.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you never saw Harvey? He
No.
at some point decided he was going to stop tweeting. But he was like, you're getting pissed and shit on by the like miners and jizzed on. He was just like completely vile, you know. Like the miners are shorting you and blah, you're a moron, fucking morons, you know. And it was just like 15, 20 tweets a day. And I'm like,
jeez, maybe
I find it really hard to believe that this is a real person. This is not a paid, like bot or shill or something. Like,
yeah, why would they spend all their time hating on Litecoin?
yeah, like what? And the account is about nothing else. It's like not like he was posting about anything else. But anyway, then there's the question of price suppression. You know, which seems to be, in my opinion, happening.
Oh yeah, I think there's reasons why you would. If you had a huge amount of Bitcoin and you knew that the second dominant Bitcoin chain was a threat,
right,
you would do that. I know Galaxy Digital at one point was reaching out to large holders of Litecoin to try to borrow it and short it.
I heard David Burkett was talking about that.
Yeah.
The foundation, and they were like, no, we're not going to give you money to short Litecoin. Like, find you the loan you Litecoin.
And then all the communities hate each other because they're all competing for the same capital pool.
Right. Yeah.
So it makes sense, but I don't know if that like active. I know it's definitely being suppressed in the media, but I don't know if it's because people feel it's a threat to Bitcoin or if they just don't own any and they don't feel any need to promote it. I don't really know what's going on. It's hard to tell, and who knows what's going on with Tether. And like they buy a shit ton of Bitcoin every bear market, and they've had this money printer practically. Maybe they're involved with the US government. There's a lot of money
obviously
to be
the
made.
government, now that Bitcoin is captured, obviously the governments don't want Litecoin. Like nobody, well, there's a lot of people who don't want real peer-to-peer electronic money, and that includes Sailor at this point because it would prove that Bitcoin can't do it.
Yeah, that's the ironic thing is,
He just wants you to leave it.
it's like there's been so little demand that this hasn't been evident yet. Like so little demand for permissionless money, even though everyone's shouting that they haven't figured it out yet. But even with the small, limited market that it has, it's been losing market share for a long time.
Yeah, which is wild. Like, nobody's talking about that.
It's so wild.
Still saying Litecoin has no use case while it's like literally eating it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna make a meme of like a boa eating a fucking something. And it says the boa has no use case.
Why? I don't know. It's like entrenched psychology. I feel like gets in these feedback loops.
It's a religion. It's like you keep saying this thing. You say this thing. If somebody's an unbeliever, you say this thing to them. Devil be God, whatever.
I don't see why all these guys would take that much risk because eventually, when it blows up, like what SBF was loved, then he was hated. Do Kwon was loved, then he was hated. 3AC guys, the same fate awaits the Bitcoiners if and when, well, really just when this market matures. The only way it doesn't happen is if they actively maybe suppress it enough and just merge it into the existing financial system. We have a dollar backed by Bitcoin or something. Then nobody would ever know.
Right.
They just think it's limited in supply.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, so that leads me to my next question, which is like, what would it take to break that suppression in terms of like the shorting and the, like obviously, I think it would be a huge amount to like short squeeze.
Yeah, if it's still active and ongoing, then given how illiquid the supply is and how many long-term holders there are, plus the pretty small market cap in crypto on a relative basis, it should take very little interest to lead to a breakout.
I mean, it seems to me like some large fund manager at Fidelity could destroy Binance, basically shorts,
If they are
hard
out there. I think, but based on reading the Fidelity reports and everything that's said in the institutional side on CNBC, they're all so lost as to what this even is. I just don't think they know either.
I mean, even today, because I feel like the hard finance bros are the most likely to understand that Litecoin is Bitcoin, basically, other than sentiment. That's the only difference, which of course is a lot. It's not, like sentiment has been everything in crypto.
Yeah, it is.
Almost everything. Except for this steadily growing actual transactional demand, which everybody's ignoring. But thus far, it's all just been sentiment,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's hard, and I always try to figure out why people can't understand. But I think it requires like a certain level of competence on the tech side of Bitcoin to know what it is, what it does. And then you have to understand like why it's important, like we've been talking about, the economic side. And if you only have one or the other, I think you won't get to the right conclusion.
So, my question for you. You often mention like cognitive biases that people have in the space.
Yeah.
Like what would you say are the common cognitive biases that people have towards Bitcoin and Litecoin?
Well, Bitcoin to me is like every other bubble. It's a recency bias. The price momentum is just feeling narratives that are wrong, but making them even stronger. I think most people don't care enough. So they just hear 21 million. They think fixed supply. Oh, this has never been existed before. It's better than gold. They'll just buy it. And just knowing that little. But yeah, given crypto, the whole market's kind of like a momentum trade. I think most of it's just recency bias. But there's a lot of large money playing in this market that knows how to they know how to create mass psychological change in people and narratives.
AKA manipulate.
Yeah. Because people mostly weren't interested in Bitcoin until they saw price go up. It was same with me. Like, I know that was true of me in 2016. And then it got me to look into it. So I think it's the same. Bitcoin hasn't done anything in 8 years, really. So it's been forgotten. But yeah, in terms of, I don't know, psychological bias, it's just, oh, someone's calling me. Oh, it's spam. I get like 5 spam calls a day.
Oh yeah, I know, it's the same.
But what do you think is...
I mean, I was actually going to try to look up the terms for the various types of biases, but I feel strongly that there's this like prosperity doctrine thing going on in America, particularly, which is like, if you have this like fervent faith and you pray, and it's like coming back to like, you just throw slogans at anybody who tries to explain why Litecoin is better than Bitcoin, then like you'll be blessed, you know. And it's like, they're not religious, but it's actually it's a religious kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Some people are religious, you know, but
kind of like this, like sports team cult, like.
Yeah, like you pray for what you want, and you know, you're a good person, and it'll come to you because somehow, I mean, that one just blows my mind how much I see of that, you know. And it's like when you hear like Maxis talking to each other on podcasts, it's just like this warm, fuzzy, like it's eating the world, and there's nothing anybody can do, and it's just like inevitable, and it's definitely, you know, like, and it's like, but why? But you're not allowed to say why, you know. You're not allowed to ask why, you know. It's like, this is just an article of faith, you know, because somebody wrote a book and you kind of skimmed through it, and you're like, okay, the Bitcoin standard, got it, you know. And it's like, okay, well, can I ask a question? No, like, you cannot. You're now a shit pointer or whatever. You know.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know how so many people say that, but they haven't looked at the transactional data.
Yeah, which brings me to my follow-up.
We could sit here for a sec since we've been walking for a long time.
So one thing I really loved about your profile when I found it was that you said, like, challenge my ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you asked people to challenge your ideas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the question I asked yesterday, like, what do you think? Like, if you look at your own thinking, what kind of bias do you think you might be at risk of in terms of Litecoin?
I think I'm assuming that demand for permissionless money will increase because of the macro stuff we've talked about at some point. It might
actual adoption, basically.
Yeah,
like peer-to-peer adoption.
Like growing. There is adoption right now, but I'm assuming it'll grow.
Yeah, like actual use.
Yeah, at some point. So that's the biggest risk. I think the other one is competition, like, but
that no other chain is going to catch up from behind.
Well, yeah, after looking at the history of how money's emerged, you do get this consolidation around the dominant money. It has higher network effects, higher utility, people already accept it. It's the reason why BTC grew to full blocks before Litecoin even moved. And now it has such a lead and this historical positive correlation over the last 8 years to adoption when Bitcoin gets expensive that I'm pretty certain it continues. Whereas there's literally nothing else in the market on this proof of work side that has any real network effects. So I guess there could be some new chain that people randomly adopt, but I think with money, it's so hard for people to wrap their head around Bitcoin at first. Like, even if technology was better, it'd have to be a crazy upgrade over what's already trusted to displace it. And yeah, those would be the only two things. I'm assuming permissionless money is going to be in higher demand, and I'm assuming that this correlation or this network effect lead will get greater.
But those are assumptions. I mean, they're not like biases necessarily. I mean,
yeah, I don't really know. Bitcoin seems way more simple than people want to make it out to be. It does two things, like potentially, if people resist, avoid inflation and censorship. Those are the two things that the monetary monopoly has. I don't know why. I think like Saylor and all those guys want to sell it and make it way more dramatic than it is, and so they can speak hours and hours because they run out of things to talk about. They just like say it's digital energy or say it's whatever, the black hole of world finance. They make all these outlandish metaphors that are somewhat truthful, but get crazy. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think my bias is?
Well, I think like what I connected with you over is I think we're both idealistic. You know? Like we talked about yesterday. Like my bias might be confirmation bias, not in the term of like something that I already believe to be that I'm seeing things the way I already think they are, but that I believe things that would be good to happen will happen. And unfortunately, the world is not always a good place where things that would be good to happen actually do happen, and very often it's the opposite. And so I'm wondering if, you know, because I think uncensorable peer-to-peer inflation-resistant money would be really great to have for people.
Maybe not.
That therefore it will. It's kind of like, you know, like if you want to get political about it, like you can oppress people for 1,000 years, but for 1,000 years they're going to want to be free, and they'll never stop wanting to be free until maybe you genetically engineer that part of their brain out or something. Read it out or whatever. But like it's an inherent part of the human condition to. I mean, it's not even a human condition. It's like the thing with the monkeys, where you give one monkey 2 bananas and one, they get upset. You know, like that's. So I do think there's going to be a yearning for, like when people are getting screwed over, they're going to be looking for ways to not get screwed over. But that doesn't mean they're going to win or that they'll get, you know. Like you know, look at what happened in China or whatever. People are like, at the end of communism, they're like, oh, China's next. There's no way they'll survive. Everybody was saying that after the fall of the Soviet Union, and it didn't happen. Like China, look at China now. Like they're one state now, they're capitalist, but they're still in power. But because they've had continual growth, the people have been going along with it, even though it's oppressive and whatever. But the thing that, you know, I think things will not, like the social contract breaks down. The main social contract in America has been like, it's like, why did Reagan win? Are you better off than you were 4 years ago, you know? And like, that's no longer going to be the case because of just, we're at the dregs of like the American imperial colonial system that's been, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying, it wasn't necessarily bad. It was the best empire ever, if you ask me. But it was like this post-World War II where America was on top, and they exploited that position. America exploited that position to economically benefit America. And like now, it's not even a question. Like it is already fallen apart, and we're in the like post game. But people are still pretending like we can keep this going, and it's like, I really don't think so.
No, for sure.
So, you know, because basically the social contract will be broken, which is people's lives are going to get shittier and shittier. They're going to rebel. They're going to look for ways to resist, you know, and that's why I think.
Yeah, people at the margins, like that are already starting to feel it. Will get pushed over the edge. And
that, you know, used to be like third world countries that happened, but it's going to start happening in Europe and America as well. In Japan, it's already happening. I mean, if you look at like there's sex workers now in Japan, which is crazy.
I know, like, all over the place. It's like, the growth of the sex market has been crazy. But to me, it's a sign of like, people struggling, and then also kind of cultural like degradation that happens at the end of empires.
But I think I might be underestimating the power of the system to suck people into other off pressure valves, you know, like I mean in Mr. Robot, you know, where the currency collapses, and then there's Bitcoin, and then there's that eCoin, you know, with Evil Corp, And then eventually the e-coin takes over because it's more convenient and whatever. I can't remember the reasons. Like it was cheaper, basically. Like they created incentives where this, you know, stable coins or whatever filled the space. And people were like, well, fuck it, I'll use this thing, you know.
Yeah, that's what's happened over and over again, I think, historically too, not
and
even...
I think that's the plan. If you look at like Europe with the central bank digital, you know, coins and like the stable, everybody's saying stable coin at the Bitcoin conference. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
I know.
Like, that's the plan, is like, you know, like at some point it's going to crap out and they're going to be like, oh, it's the new digital dollar or whatever, you know, and it's only 10% a year inflation instead of what we just had, which is 35 or whatever.
Yeah. To me, right now I can't imagine crypto being mass adopted.
And the thing is, it doesn't need to be adopted as the dominant money to be highly adopted.
Yeah.
You know, like the way, for example, you know, hard currency circulated behind the Iron Curtain. It wasn't used to buy milk or groceries, but it was used like for major like social capital transactions that were hidden from the government. Like if you wanted to illegally rent an apartment or whatever, get better healthcare in the free public healthcare system or whatever, a $100 bill would go very, 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 very far.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, $20 bill. And it never got traded necessarily back into the local currency.
That's probably what's going to happen too. And there's always been black markets. I think they account for 15-20%. It's just kind of surprising to me that Bitcoin and Litecoin haven't taken up a larger share of that. Dollars, like physical dollars, still seem like the best thing because you can use them in black markets and you can use them in probably too. It's like the white market as well. It's very interchangeable. I think that's why Bitcoin has been outcompeted by the dollar in black markets. I don't know. I'm just wondering what happens if we do get a price breakout after all this, the lowest volatility we've had in 3 years.
Yeah.
The narrative will have to change depending on how high the price goes. People will have to justify why it's going up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not I don't look at, I mean, of course I look at charts and I'm like, I can see a chart that to me looks like garbage and that looks interesting, but I don't.
You base
I'm very
decisions on it?
suspicious of like,
Technical
this looks
analysis?
like it's about to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, because it's, I mean, when you have something as huge as, you know, Wall Street, where there's enough capital in it, maybe there's some patterns here, but like crypto is so manipulated that like, I feel like it's a setup where it's like, oh, look, this chart looks really good, and then
well, that's what a lot of people thought in Litecoin in 2021.
Yeah.
But the on-chain stuff, like.
But I do think Litecoin has been so suppressed in terms of sentiment and probably price that it's like the thing where, you know, glacial rebound. You know, you have a glacier that melts, and it's like the Earth just has to come back up. Like there's pressure there. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty extreme because I know how it's been the exact opposite sort of feedback loop that a lot of these other crypto assets have been in. But Litecoin can have the same sort of positive reflexivity that a lot of other chains have until the market figures out the truth. That's how long I will hold on to it. Because I will wait until it's understood, until Bitcoin is understood.
Yeah, and exactly, because we're still in such a speculative phase, I do not think Bitcoin looks good right now, personally. But
well, I think the risk.
Of course, it could go to $1 million, but I just don't. I don't see that happening soon.
Well, it's the most overvalued it's ever been, I think, from risk reward.
Yeah. And considering all the stats are actually falling, which is like, I mean, of course, if you're telling people don't ever touch it, you know, and you don't even need to hold it, just buy my piece of paper that says I hold it. then of course the stats are going to go down, you know. But it's like, that doesn't make me feel good about it, like,
No.
at all. So can you give a short preview of what you want to talk about in terms of like the history of money and how you go to Wall Street? Or
Yeah, well, I wanted to
what are
explain.
the key points?
One day go down to those older, I think they're closed now, but the Federal Reserve banks, and explain why it was implemented, how the response to the banking crisis, like how it developed over the years, and evolved into what we now know as like modern central banking.
Yeah,
So I
like
just want to go through
Reserve,
and eventually explain, because people don't understand. I think the mass inflation is just something that naturally happens with fiat money. They don't really see it as a tax, and they don't understand the difference between, like, this is a monopolized monetary market. It's not a market-based money. So you have market-based monies like gold, silver, cryptocurrencies.
Monopolized monetary.
Yeah, because the
control of the supply.
Yeah, control of supply and control of the banking system, that they can block transactions. That's really what it is. That's the difference.
Anybody could go dig up some silver somewhere.
Yeah.
And do whatever they want with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and they enforce that through counterfeit laws, right? And rules. But that's the main difference between fiat money and these market-based monies. Whether it's natively digital like Bitcoin or whether it's physical like gold and silver.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised at how it's not like mainstream where they talk about this monopoly. It's really just a monopoly. And money doesn't have to be monopolized by the state.
Right.
There's just...
Well, because it didn't used to be, because like, you know, like people, like there's, you know, like Roman coins in India and shit, you know, like tons of them along the Silk Road and everything. Exactly. There was multiple. This is where people are like, oh, there's only one dominant money and it's going to be Bitcoin. It's like, why? There's never been one dominant money. Like I could go right now and buy $1,000s worth of camera equipment with euros at B&H or whatever. I'm sure they would accept it.
They don't
be like,
care.
sure, I'll take whatever it is. You know, if it's like
it's some common money.
Yeah, they'll charge you a fee or whatever. Like,
who does not want to sell their services?
It's good money. Euro is good money. If you go to B&H, whatever, they'll take it. You know, I'm sure they would.
Yeah, it's a weird mentality. It's like Bitcoiners are like property owners in New York City that want to use the government to enact a bunch of legislation so that nobody else can build.
You're not allowed to live in any other city. Or you have nobody else. It's like pretend those other cities don't. Those are shit cities.
Yeah.
Don't live in the shit cities. They're bad.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's literally cheaper and better.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to talk about that because I think it's under discussed.
The thing there's the crossover with the whole like, you know, end the Fed, like the whole like libertarian, you know, the people who are considered crazy tinfoil hat people, you know, but of course the critique is valid.
Yeah, I just want to explain directly because there's a lot of like hate, and I remember in 2017, like people would just target hate at like the banking system or they'd yell these terms, but they didn't really understand what exactly was the problem. So that's my goal, to explain it simply. And then I want to go to Wall Street to talk about the casino games that are happening in crypto that just like the same types of bubble mentality we had in the 08-09 crisis are happening in crypto. There's this assumption that if you watch Michael Saylor's speeches, he's talking about like, oh, we just assume like 20% growth per year in Bitcoin because it's the best money, and that means gives us.
Yeah, and my whole pyramid, which is definitely not going to fall down, is built on this assumption.
Yeah, and that's what people are doing with housing. They just assume, no, house prices always go up. Like, why?
Right.
They just go up.
It's like the mortgage-backed security shit. It's like, people always, like, people are never gonna.
Yeah, housing always goes up. Bitcoin price always goes up. It's limited, 21 million.
Because you've compared it to the Roaring Kitty, but I actually think the Michael Burry thing is a better analogy of like both the dollar and Bitcoin have similarities in terms of like this is an unsustainable fucking thing. Similar to mortgage-backed securities, basically.
Yeah, there's bubbles everywhere. I feel like maybe the biggest bubble in the dollar, but it's, I don't know, it's so hard to predict. It's going to be so volatile. If you get
when like people like there's the critique of crypto that like you need inflationary money to have economic growth.
Yeah, I know that Keynesian theory. Yeah.
So like, what do you say to that? I mean, but the thing is, like, I think that's like a red herring because, again, you don't need Litecoin to be the dominant. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
But I don't know why the supply of money has to you have to inflate the supply at a certain rate to get growth. It's assuming.
Like you need credit in order to.
Well, you can still have credit with
hard money.
Yeah. People would put their money in the banks that want to. If everyone's just hoarding on to their money, you don't get much growth because you need to consolidate capital and then issue it to people that want to go build productive businesses.
Right.
Or else you'd get really slow growth. But I don't think lending. I think lending would happen.
Yeah.
Naturally.
But how would that? Like, I wouldn't let anybody hold money. I mean, you'd have to really convince me that it's trustworthy.
That's what people should do, right? With banks, like they should be like, wow, where are these banks sending their money? We just eliminated the risk, right? With the Fed backstopping it and giving the FDIC insurance.
Right.
But if people knew that, hey, like we're gonna go give your money to these people, these businesses, you're gonna shop around for a bank that you think is trustworthy and pays you correctly for the risk, knowing that they won't be bailed out if they lose your money. That's the way banking used to work.
Right.
And private banks had their own money, right? They issued their own
and then there was a
credit.
huge crash, and then they came up with FDIC, which they're now getting rid of. Which, if that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. You know, or they're trying to. What are they trying to do with FDIC?
I don't know.
They're like,
but it was
trying to do something where it's like.
It was massively underfunded for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a joke. Anyway.
Ever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think you need a central authority to print money to ensure the economy is safe. I think you just, in that scenario, you just eliminate small failure risk and you create systemic risk. Because it'd be better if a few banks fail and people lose their money, but the system continues on, versus like everyone's entrapped and we're going to inflate the system forever until the whole thing collapses.
Right. Yeah.
That seems much worse to me. But that's basically what we did, and those problems people don't recognize them until it's way too late.
Yeah, it's totally like the frog getting boiled, where it's like weirdly people don't notice they're being boiled, you know.
Until it's too late, and then there's a scapegoat, and they go
right, yeah,
blame
it's because
everyone.
of whatever, because the Democrats are spending too much money, and it's like, yeah, right, the Democrats are the only ones who are spending too much money.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the freaking Iraq War and all that?
Yeah.
Like, what did that get us, and how much that cost?
Yeah. It's weird. We're gonna live through some interesting times for sure in the next decade.
I like vaguely. I don't have.
It's hard to know because I don't think the world will look anything like it does or has looked in the past with these giant nation states that kind of one dominates the rest of the world. Like you had Europe or like England dominating for a long time.
Well, yeah,
U.S. and China before
we're
that.
Entering a multipolar reality, just. And I mean, like, yeah, I don't know if you follow. Like, you said you're not really interested in geopolitics because it's too complicated, or it's like you don't know what's actually going on. So what's the point of even?
Oh yeah, it's.
But like Elbridge Colby was like an advisor, you know, to Trump for foreign policy and like America's strategic posture. Like he's basically saying like we already no longer have the capacity to be the global superpower, so we should withdraw to a position of like what's in America's interest, you know, and what do we get for it, you know, versus like just pretending that we can just make everyone do whatever we want, you know, and like, which is, I mean, realistically, like leaving aside the ethics of like bailing on your allies, or like what Kissinger said, like being an enemy of America is dangerous, but being an ally is fatal. You know, which is when like America bailed on the South Vietnamese and so on. But it's realistically what is actually the case. You know, whether it's moral or not or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
That is happening. Like,
yeah, well, a lot of these countries have grown economically and now have the ability to challenge. And
I mean, it's not even countries, like these Yemeni Houthis or whatever, like they're keeping the Navy at bay with like a bunch of Chinese rockets and shit. Yeah. I mean, you know, they're, you know, like what do they can't, like the aircraft carriers are not built to fight like a bunch of people with Helix pickup trucks and a bunch of like fucking little portable missiles from China that are like mass produced. And
it reminds me of the Revolutionary War. It's like America won because they didn't know how to fight this guerrilla warfare tactics.
Right, the British were like line up and fight orderly.
That's kind of how I feel will happen with crypto adoption, is the economy will move so dramatically over the next 10 years that it's going to be really hard to use the traditional war tactics against it. Eventually, I think it's going to be the highest value individuals that can leverage AI tools to make tens of millions a year or more, that create the best apps that everyone uses, or whatever they do create. If they can just opt out of tax with very little risk, why would they not do that, especially if their currencies are failing or their governments are having issues?
I do think that, I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil, and governments are going to respond with heavy-handed authoritarian shit, including in America and Europe. You know, and they're going to say it's for stability and whatever, and to prevent, you know, black market money laundering, blah, blah, blah. But I think you can already see the signaling, which is like when that shit happened where like Google suddenly said that they're not going to allow wallet apps that are non-custodial without KYC, and then they suddenly reversed it immediately. But there was like, what the fuck was that? And then now they're talking about like, as of next year, they're not going to allow side loading of APKs.
Really?
Yeah. Like as of like 2026, you have to be a registered developer to like, it will not allow you to, I don't know what that even means, but like, because you can turn on the developer, like what if I'm an app developer and I want to test my own app on my own phone? You know, but they're talking about basically locking down the platforms where you're not going to be able to, and then if the government passes a law that says there's no non-KYC, non-custodial wallets allowed by law, and they're just going to be like, okay, we're going to turn that off. But like, I think people will rebel against that.
Yeah, for sure.
For various reasons.
Why would Google do that unless the government already telling them to do it?
That's where the government sees this going, where the way they're going to control the population is through controlling their fucking smartphones.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But even then, I mean, what are they going to lock down, like Linux? Like, you can still run your own node, you know, on Linux. Like, how the hell are they going to lock that down? But, you know, all this, like, kernel level security on Windows and all this shit, where it's like the same thing, where they can just basically remotely disable apps, you know, and they're like, oh, we're doing it for your protection because, you know, we don't want you to be like to be in a botnet that's crypto mining or whatever, you know. But I do see it going that way. But I don't think they'll be successful. I just don't. Like, I think that will just make people buy another phone that's going to be some kind of pirate OS.
Yeah, and whoever developed that would probably make a lot of money.
I just don't. And also because, you know, it's like, it's an international thing, and also there will be regions of the world where the central government is weak and the currency is failing, and that's going to be the perfect scenario for people are just like, fuck it, you know, like, we'll just make it work, you know, we'll just like come up with solutions. Just even in the way like the war in Ukraine is being fought by the Ukrainians, it wasn't primarily by the central government. It was done by like these tech guys who just like created on the fly like reconnaissance drones and like figured out what's going on with this convoy coming from Belarus.
Wow.
like it wasn't the government. The government was not able to mobilize that kind of shit quickly. But these guys who are like high-end IT consultant guys who are patriotic, started it. And like right now, like the procurement system in Ukraine, like the on the brigade level, they decide how to spend their money, and they directly contract with these drone manufacturers that have a turnover of weeks to a month, where like the Russians come up with a countermeasure and they report back from the front line to this manufacturer, and they tell them, and they come up with a solution, and they deploy it within weeks. Like they're testing it within weeks.
That's crazy.
And it's the government isn't even involved. The government funds the brigade. And the brigade decides where to spend that money. And yeah, I mean, it's just an example of like in a crisis situation, the way technology actually works, and humans are innovative, and they will come up with things, and the government has a hard fucking time fighting it, you know, like.
For sure. Well, that gives me hope, you know. It is idealistic on my part, but I actually think it's reality. Well, people have to survive and want to keep their livelihoods. They will have to do this.
Yeah, and the same thing with like in Eastern Europe with like, you know, the samizdat publishing, you know, underground publishing. The government was like trying to control information and everything, and it didn't work. You know, it's just like ultimately you can't line everybody against the wall and shoot them. Like Stalin did that, but like at some point you got to stop with that.
Yeah.
You know, you can only do that so long. And Mao did that, but you know, like
it's harder in this age, I think, with the internet and with the ability to record anything and post it. I think it's.
Yeah, I mean, if they deploy total surveillance, which looks like they're trying to do, aiming to do, then it can definitely like be more.
It's just those are the people that don't create wealth. They have to tax the population, take their stuff to then enforce it. But if the population just says, "Screw this, we're going to keep our own money," how are they going to fund the enforcement? That's. Yeah, and probably like what's happening in Ukraine, the negotiation of government contracts. That'll probably happen with super wealthy, successful individuals, like the next Zuckerberg in crypto, actually build something useful. Individuals will negotiate with governments to do things. Governments probably recede power because they just fail.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, issuance of money. I mean, Zuckerberg tried. What was that, Libra or whatever? He was going to release, and the government was like, "Yeah, no." Like, issuance of money is definitely a central government core function. We're not going to let you do that. But I mean, if it ever comes to it that central government is weakened to the point where they allow that.
Sometimes they have to negotiate. It's like, I don't know. I just think of these poorer countries that were forced to do whatever the U.S. said. Well, the roles can reverse. I think individuals over the next 10 years that figure out how to develop this crypto market may have more power than a lot of these nation states, potentially.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not hopeful because I think governments will allow crypto. I'm hopeful because I don't see how they can stop it. And that's the whole. It's designed that way, and it's not by integrating with the existing financial system. Like that's ridiculous.
No, well, most people still think that. It's I don't get what integration means.
That's the hijacking and capture of the power of peer-to-peer e-cash that's an attempt to capture it, but that's the thing. Then there's Litecoin. It's like, okay, you captured BTC, but there's still Litecoin, you know, and then there's other things, you know. I just think Litecoin has the best chance right now, but you know, there's other things that come after that.
For sure. It can always stop and restart again too. I think people just get too attached to a specific token or network. But even if you went through this stage of competition with government and it failed, well, someone else might just launch another chain and slowly start it again.
Yeah, I mean, launching is easy, but getting Minor adoption is the hard part.
Yeah, it's hard to start from zero, from something that's worth nothing to something.
Yeah. So,
we're on the Upper West Side now.
oh yeah.
Probably have
to see all the nannies here too.
Yeah.
So, like, coming back to more like small picture, like MWeb, you know, I would say is a big selling point of Litecoin right now. What do you think the chances are, the risk is of Bitcoin adopting MWeb and draining?
I think it takes, since it's so political,
right.
It would take a long time. I mean, anyone could just suggest to do that. But I think the only reason they do it is if price of Litecoin starts going up, and then Litecoin already has the network effects, so Bitcoin would then have kind of like this role reversal with Litecoin, where Litecoin is seen as the test net.
Where they're catching up now.
Yeah, you can't build network effects organically just by putting it on your chain. Like if the network effects and people adopt it on Litecoin, they're not going to leave to go use it on BTC.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at this current knots debate, it just seems like it's total paralysis in terms of, like, it's, again, it comes from, if you think that your thing is sacred and holy, and you don't think of it in utilitarian terms, that it's a tool and it can easily be replaced by any other tool, and the point is what it does, not what it is.
Yeah.
Then you get like, don't touch it, it's sacred, it's perfect the way it is, you know, it's the perfect money. Like this whole Lynn Alden thing with like BTC is like the iPhone, and you know, it's the perfect thing, and then everything is shitcoins are like Android. It's just like this is the most retarded thing ever.
It is very silly because obviously the consumer demand side of the market says the opposite.
Well, and tell me which specific feature of this magical iPhone is superior, you know?
Yeah, with an iPhone you can tell, like you can name things, right?
Yeah.
The operating system's simple to use.
Yeah,
it's convenient, the camera's really nice.
The green dot or the blue dot or whatever, like the prestige or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh really, the prestige of using Bitcoin? Like
there's nothing physical about it.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I'm so overjoyed that I got this money sent to me via Bitcoin. I have so much social status on the basis of the fact that somebody sent me money via Bitcoin. Like that's ridiculous.
It is.
You know, and it's like there's practically frictionless transition from one to the other.
That's why I've always said the substitution trade-off for these like open source natively digital networks is so much less. I always compared it to cities because it's like the closest real world example that I could think of. Like when rent gets too high, people move. Yeah. But this has way less friction than like moving from Manhattan to Brooklyn. That's hard. You gotta move you gotta move all your stuff. You gotta move your kids to different schools.
I mean, the transition from Bitcoin to Litecoin could take as long as it literally takes you to trade one for the other on an exchange, which is like how long?
It's like moving from,
you know,
I don't know, like some social media. It's even easier than moving from a social media platform to another because that network.
I mean, it's as easy as trading my stack on an exchange from one to the other. Like, I mean, if I want to market, buy it.
That psychology will eventually break. I don't know. It's hard to call tops and bubbles. But I just want to be on the right side of the long-term thing because there's no one saying this, and the opportunity for people explaining it before is really high. What will people say when the narrative does collapse? Like, oh, all these influencers are wrong, all the suits.
Well, yeah.
Well, I thought Bitcoin was this. They told me to buy it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a massive upheaval.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking through my notes here, and I don't know if I have any other. I didn't prepare as much for this as I was hoping, but yeah.
It's been fun though.
Yeah, it's been so great meeting you. Yeah, I mean, like, I came across your profile like about 6 months ago, and it just resonated so strongly for me with like things that I've been thinking about. I mean, we talked about this like in 2017 when like I was stacking Bitcoin, and then suddenly the transfer fee spiked to like $50, and I'm like, wait, so this thing is supposed to like take over the world, and it's at almost no adoption yet, and we're hoping to like scale it massively, and it's already spiking to $50. Like this is insane. Like this is not gonna work. And like, and my buddy was like, oh, just transfer it to Litecoin, and then you can send it to the other exchange, and then whatever. And I'm like, so why don't I just keep it? Like, what is Litecoin? It's basically a Bitcoin chain. So like, why the fuck would I be trading it back and forth? You know, I was thinking about this stuff, and like, what is so special about Bitcoin? You know, that this one is so overvalued compared to this one. And and like, I don't have that much money, you know, so it's like, I'm taking some risk here, but I think the risk to reward in terms of the Litecoin is so underpriced. It has so much utility. The utility is rising. You know, the hash rate is rising. The transactions are rising. Everything is rising.
Yeah, more people accept it now. Basically, anywhere that accepts Bitcoin accepts Litecoin as well. So.
And it has the two essential qualities of unfencerability and inflation resistance again, which is the real value of it. You know.
Yeah.
In an environment that's highly inflationary that we're entering, like massively accelerating, you know, it's just like, it's a no-brainer to me. And so I switched my whole stack. Basically, I traded everything like in March, I think.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's not that much, but like whatever, you know.
Yeah, I got rid of all my Bitcoin in 2021, and then I just bought Litecoin in 20, like pretty, not exactly the lowest, but I just averaged it.
Yeah.
It just, I thought if we saw the most growth in Litecoin's transaction hit like in the total 10, 13, how many years? 13 years that it's existed, I thought it was going to see more growth, and it did. Like, it gained 100,000 daily users. I thought price would, I thought there would at least be a narrative to get people interested. But it's crazy. Litecoin saw more growth than it's seen any other cycle, and price did nothing. So that's what's been frustrating. But yeah, hopefully more people will see or come to the same conclusion.
And I think right now that the best chance is like finance guys on the edges who are like thinking about, you know, advising people to put, like you said, 0.5% of their retirement just as a hedge into crypto. And if they do any like due diligence, just, you know, fundamentals research into crypto, they're going to see like Litecoin is basically the same strength, but it's heavily undervalued right now compared to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And of course, who knows where the sentiment's going to go in the short term, but like, yeah, I mean, buy low, sell high, not the other way around. I mean, duh. Like,
for sure. I know, I don't know how, the only people that really understand this are people that relied on Bitcoin daily, and they're told like, just use Bitcoin. They're probably told this, and then they see the $50 fees, and they're like, wait, why? And they move.
right.
It's either that or someone that's spent enough time thinking about it. There's literally, I was alone like you for years, and finally found one other guy that was actually a Bitcoin developer and economist. So he had like the perfect background to understand both sides. And he saw this. I asked him about it directly, and then he wrote this substitution principle in his book that exactly explains what I was trying to explain for years. I don't know if he had the idea originally, or if I gave it to him, but that's what gave me more confidence.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, he's a super smart guy. It's like all the smartest people in this space get no attention, and all the pumper guys
of course.
get all the views.
Know,
like someone could be coding on Bitcoin and talking, speaking about it, the actual truth, and nobody will listen.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole like the social media monetization machine. And I mean the thing is, it's manipulated. That's it. It's manipulated. You know, like.
Yeah, all the XRP influencers getting free coins, and all the whatever new institutional backed VC coins getting all this. They have money for marketing. They can go give it to influencers.
Yeah.
Say,
and
hey,
the thing
don't
is,
sell
like,
it
again, like if you don't look at, like, what's the difference between Litecoin? Like, nobody is a paid shill of this thing. Like, you're not paid, I'm not paid, nobody's paid. you know. And yeah, the foundation does little projects. They're like
But they have barely
funded,
any funding, yeah.
You know, and it's like, and yet it keeps growing. You know? And
So
it's like if
it
you
has
don't
no
look at
marketing, but
that-
it grew the most.
Well, it has completely organic marketing.
Yeah.
There's some marketing, but
I'm sure
whatever.
people that are using it that aren't online are marketing it to their
Oh
friends.
yeah, I think most people are actually like the actual transactional demand. I would say 0.5% of them are on Twitter, maybe. That's why I think Twitter is like.
Yeah,
it's such an
fantasy
echo
world.
chamber. Yeah, and it's like these influencers yelling at each other and arguing with each other. And, I mean, it's cool that a Litecoin is marketing on Twitter, but it's like that's not where the potential lies.
Yeah, it's never going to be long term. Like you might get speculators to buy it, but they're going to just look to exit.
Like I think these like the Bitcoin village things that they're doing, like that kind of stuff. You know, except that's all level 2, like Lightning bullshit, but like teaching people to actually use Litecoin, you know, on level 1 from their phone.
Well, that's how it spread in Venezuela.
Yeah.
It was just like
They were
people
using
figured
Dash,
it
I
out.
heard a lot.
And then their family, that's how it's going to have to happen.
Right,
It can't happen from any giant centralized.
And then that's going to make the news that, hey, this is weird, like Madagascar or whatever, everybody's suddenly using Litecoin. It's going to make the news. And then people are like, Litecoin, what the fuck is that? Why is that? Why are they doing that? How do I do that? You know?
Yeah, if you say Litecoin to anyone outside of crypto or even inside crypto, they'll be like, they'll look at you weird because they've been trained to think a certain way about it. When the better definition to me is just
the second Bitcoin chain that's most adopted.
Yeah.
It's then growing. And it's not second by like
very much.
A magnitude of 10 or 20 or 30. It's like what, by 2? Yeah. And closing.
Yeah.
So that's like, okay, so it's half as big as, and if you look historically, like when was Bitcoin there? It was not that long ago, you know?
Yeah, people would argue that average transfer volume is lower on Litecoin, but really most of the stuff happening on Bitcoin is just speculative coins moving.
Right.
So it's really not that far behind. And median transaction value is actually past BTC. So
really? Median transaction size.
Yeah, median transaction size. Just because so much ordinals and runes stuff was happening on Bitcoin that it lost a lot of its users. But I think there's still market share for Litecoin to take from Bitcoin if we get some congestion.
Are we still even connected? Did you track the thing?
I think so. I haven't been checking for a while. There's 10 people in here. MK. It's inevitable. He's been in the, NVK recognized, yeah. I thought I put that in the title. Yeah, it did. But these live streams, this IRL stuff is really hard. I thought more people would want to see New York City walks.
Right.
And
they probably do. It's just like the algorithm. Like when I start searching for you on,
you can't find it.
I have to type out the entire title.
Oh.
Like if I do earned not gif, it's like earned not given. It's looking for something else. Like you're just not in the algorithm at all.
Yeah. And a lot of people unsubscribe because they think I'm like spamming the. I wish I could just not send out notifications because I got asked to upload a bunch of stuff from people DMing me. I'm like, okay, I'll just upload it all. But then people get notifications and they're like, what the hell is this? Yeah, it's so nice out here. I gotta be back by 6. It's like 5:05. I'll probably just. Where do you want to head after this?
I don't care. I'm just like walking.
I might take.
Probably walk down 5th Avenue or something.
Yes, on 5th Avenue is cool. I want to do a walking tour of that because some guy on YouTube just walked with no
Yeah.
no speaking and had 3 million views.
Wow, yeah.
From just filming it.
Yeah, I mean, just the people watching is awesome.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe you'll catch some random crazy interaction. Every time I haven't had my camera, I've had some weird thing that would have been... It's not like I want to seek virality, but I am paying a lot per month for like, even just the IRL streaming bonded connection is like $500 a month.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to at least cover the expenses.
That's to connect to YouTube?
That's just like this backpack to connect to all like 6 wireless.
Oh, it's like a cellular. Oh,
yeah,
I
it's like
see.
6 at the same time.
Oh my God, I was wondering about that. I thought you were just using your phone.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
Because this phone service is pretty bad.
Really? Yeah, because of all the canyons.
Yeah, all the... I don't know, and then all the tall buildings everywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, hopefully... We need like, I think I have a decent chance if price breaks out, finally after 3 years, that you can retain some new people.
Yep. Do you want to walk? Or?
Yeah, I'm down to walk. Maybe I might walk over this way and then walk south. This is the closest exit.
Yes.
I'm gonna call. Hey Yada. I just saw your message. I didn't see it. Do you need me to pick something up there?
Yeah, if you closed there, but if you didn't, it's okay.
Well, I'm headed back that way, so I can stop there. But
Okay.
can I carry it with my camera? Because I have my camera with me.
Yeah, it's like straight here.
Okay.
Like, for doing like it.
Okay. Yeah, just maybe like I can get there in 15 minutes or so, and I can pick it up. But I'll head over to that.
I will ask him this second.
Okay. Wonder if we can get out this way. Yeah.
He's like broke up with, and he's like sell her.
He's selling his girlfriend's stuff
Yeah.
for cheap.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well.
He's like doing a news in the TV.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he gonna move into Europe.
Oh. Nice. That's cool. All right. I'm still on this. All right. Just ask him and text me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye. Okay. We've been like randomly, because we just moved here like a month ago. But just like,
Here a month ago?
yeah, like at the start of August. And we've just been getting stuff off Facebook Marketplace because people have to move out of their apartments.
Right, this is shit for cheap.
So super cheap.
Yeah.
So like slowly we're getting all the stuff we need. Yeah, I guess we could just walk. I was thinking about taking the subway, but it's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
I'm kind of excited to be here when the leaves change color in the fall.
Yeah, totally.
Be super cool. Have you ever seen, like, been here around Christmas time?
I'm sure I've seen the Christmas
Yeah.
tree, but I don't know if I was.
It's pretty cool. It's a little crazy, but
Yeah, sure.
they have so much stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think living on, everyone that I've talked to that lives up here
He goes, this is the way you go.
on the Upper West Side likes it a lot.
It's pretty.
I think this is where, yeah, this is where I would choose if I could. It's quiet, but it's like pretty nice. There's a lot of stuff up here. Easy access to the park, and then the subway system seems better on the west
Oh,
side.
totally. Yeah, that's where the rich people are and everything's better.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I kind of dig the more like economically and culturally diverse parts of New York, which still used to be Manhattan back in the day, but now it's all gentrified. But now it's like Brooklyn or Queens or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That's true. It seems like almost all the neighborhoods in Manhattan, to a certain extent, were gentrified. Like the Upper West Side, I think, used to be like the arts area where artists and, I mean, Columbia University's up there, like students, artists, stuff. And the Upper East Side was like the super wealthy.
Right.
But now it's kind of all the same.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Now it's like Alphabet City's completely gentrified. It used
Yeah.
to be like, don't go there, you get stabbed. You know?
Yeah. I think Needle Park, or it was called, nicknamed Needle Park, was right up there.
Yeah, there'd be like gangs of teenagers just like stomp you for fun. Basically. Like even in the 90s, you know.
That would be a little crazy. It might get like that again. I don't know.
Good. I mean, yeah. I think they're gonna put cameras everywhere. Just like surveil the shit out of everything. I think that's actually the plan, is to just like
Scare people into
create
it.
so much chaos that people will be begging for like the totalitarian, surveillance thing.
That's the only logical reason that makes sense to me, that they let people out of jail so fast, right? Why else would you want that unless there's an incentive? The only incentive is for more power, more control.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a strong believer in the purpose of a system is what it does, you know? Like system working as designed. You know, like what does like you pass a law and they say it's usually the opposite of what the title is, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like, okay, they pass a law, they say that it's for this, but what is it actually, the end result of this law? That's probably why they're actually doing it. You know? They know that it's designed that way, and it's usually through economic incentives, not like whatever they say. You know, it's like, what are the economics that this is going to create?
Yeah. Like the act after 9/11, all the AML/KYC stuff. Yeah, what's your
Now they made a law.
schedule like
No schedule.
Did you have work up here originally for a little bit?
I had a little gig project thing that I did
Oh, nice.
for one day that I got paid to do.
That's
And
cool.
I just mainly used it as an excuse for a trip out here.
Nice. Did you say you had some family out here?
I do have family.
Nice. And they're in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Okay. Have they been here a while? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like 30 years.
Damn. Yeah, that's... Well, I think most people that come here to Manhattan live here for like a couple years, then they move to Queens or Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced much of outside of where I'm living, but it seems nice. The only place in Brooklyn I went was to get onto the bridge, like the Dumbo area, but that's super touristy.
Right, yeah, that's a great view of Manhattan though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooklyn is insanely huge. I mean, like Manhattan, you can walk it easily in a day, not even a whole day, but like Brooklyn is
So just land.
But you should totally go to Coney Island with that because it's so visually cool.
Okay, yeah, my wife wanted to go over there. What all is out there? I don't even know. There's like a little theme park, isn't there?
Yeah, well, have you seen Mr. Robot?
I have, but I
It's like a little amusement park thing. It's not big.
pretty big.
There's a couple of roller coasters.
Oh, nice.
And like, you know, like a long walk along the beach. You can go on the beach and you can... The water is like super warm today.
Interesting. What do they do out there in the wintertime, I wonder?
Yeah, I don't know if the roller coasters are still open in the winter or not. I don't know. It's definitely a summer thing.
Yeah.
Mainly. Like in the summer, I think it's insane. Like just packed.
But it wasn't that bad today, because I guess kids are back in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the last weekend before school started, we came to Central Park and it was pretty crazy. I used to hate those times, like end of summer, going back to school. As a child. I kind of want to rent one of those city bikes for a day and just go the whole city.
Yeah, it seems a little crazy though.
Yeah, it would be hard. I had a bike like that in Puerto Rico, and then it got stolen after like 2 weeks. I've had multiple bikes get stolen. There's like sophisticated bike thieves all over the place.
Yeah.
A huge market. I wonder if there's any like free events. There's always free random
The
concerts.
tennis was playing on big screens yesterday.
Oh yeah, the
US
finals.
Open, yeah. Oh, that was the final?
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to go. I used to play tennis like seriously in high school. And I would always watch the US Open on TV. And now I'm here. Had the chance to go, but ticket prices have gone up so much since I can remember. Like $2,000 to go to the $2,000 per person
Yeah, I'm
to
sure.
get like a shitty seat.
Sure.
But
There's so many people who have so much money.
yeah, and it's a world event, so it's funny though. My wife, she's kind of an Instagram, not really Instagram influencer, but She has a decent following, and they were giving out free tickets to influencers that had over like X amount of followers to go to like the U.S. Open finals.
Oh, really?
To go promote their clothing brand.
All right.
Yeah. These like larger influencers are worth so much money now.
Yeah, it's crazy like how this so-called like organic, social media thing is just so manipulated.
Yeah, it's just like
the crypto market's the same thing. It's hand in hand.
Yeah, it's the same reasons that mainstream media got manipulated too. It's money. I think I walked like 20,000 steps yesterday. Have you been keeping track of your?
Yeah, I had 20,000.
Really?
And it's like you don't even notice it in the city, which is I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt it in my body in the evening, but like it's not like hard. You just naturally walk a lot.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty good for you.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like a workout.
Totally.
And it's like, yeah, walking this many steps other places would seem like a pain, but in perfect weather with a lot of stuff to see,
yeah,
it's nice.
There's always something happening, like any time of day. I mean, of course, there's some neighborhoods that are quiet at night, but like, there's so many that are just never stop.
I know. I went to Times Square with the stream one night at like 3 a.m. and people were confused. It just seemed like any other part of the day. It's cool though. Like there's a really like brand new 24-hour place that I go down to sometimes at like 3 a.m. to get food, and it's literally just right downstairs. But it's not even expensive. Like I'm surprised at some of these 24-hour stores that actually provide pretty high quality food. It was like $6 for a breakfast burrito. I don't know how they're making money. Other places are expensive, but
still a lot of them.
Yeah.
Probably people like grab them on the way to work.
Yes.
Tonight I might take my camera. We're going up to like that Hudson Yards restaurant that's like at the 100th floor. Have you been over there at all since you've been?
100th floor?
It's like it's called Peak. It's that new, it's like on top of the Hudson Yards Mall. It's connected. So I might take my camera, not the backpack, but it's cool. They have I think it's one of the more popular like lookout decks or view decks in New York.
He had a job working at school. But be that as it
Yeah, there's a lot of great spots.
Yeah, last time I came here, we went to there's one, it's called Summit One. It was relatively new at the time. It's got all those like silver balloons or balls with like the glass floor that you can see underneath. Right next to the Empire State Building.
These tiny little freaking buildings are insane. It's crazy.
Oh, I know.
It's like a fairly recent thing. I heard they move like 10 feet like in the winds.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever, and they're just like swaying.
It's pretty amazing like architectural engineering, but
I heard it's also like a major problem with like plumbing and shit.
I'm sure, yeah.
It's like
So high up there.
and there's so much movement, you know, like it's not really.
It's like we're just like
Most plumbing and electrical solutions aren't designed for that much flux.
I saw.
I just heard they had some kind of like issues with plumbing in these buildings.
It would, it would suck if they had some pipe break or leaks. I mean, it could so much space for that water to fall. It seems like a lot of them are unoccupied though. Like I never see lights.
Oh really?
On at
Yeah.
night.
A lot of it is dirty money investment. Like
And people just keep them there as.
yeah, they just buy a $10 million apartment and nobody ever stays there.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, so I called him. I'm like, yo, like, what's up? He was like, oh, what you need?
Yeah, for sure.
Are the ones actually today.
I'm gonna check the
I know my dad has a couple friends who are lawyers who make great money.
stream.
And they also do death too.
NBK says ask inevitable when moon.
But yeah, I don't want to sit around all day. I like
Yeah, just buy Litecoin and hold it.
Yeah. I think it's.
definitely was not working for my father.
I think buying Litecoin or even around these prices is
Yeah, definitely.
pretty insane. I don't know how it's
Litecoin or Bitcoin?
Litecoin at 100, given where it's at and where it potentially heads.
Oh, insanely low.
Yeah, like
I
it's.
agree.
I don't know how people are able to, for years, buy something that potentially is worth.
And that's the thing, like the question of like how long can you suppress this? Like, and you, at one point you said that there might be like paper Litecoin in certain. Like, that there, I don't know if I understood what you were saying by that, but like, I mean, it's this whole wrapped thing where it's like I don't understand it, but like.
Well,
But I just don't feel like it can continue indefinitely with a lot of supply squeeze at some point.
yeah, if that is happening, then as long as real demand, people are demanding Litecoin, take possession, the price will break out. And for the longest time, I thought this cycle we'd see a new all-time high in the Bitcoin fee level. We haven't seen that yet, despite price going up so much. But I know if we do, whether that's just from speculation, congestion, or somehow in some country starts adopting it en masse,
Yeah,
then
or like even some major Wall Street something decides to take a position or short squeeze someone.
for sure.
Like it's not that large of a market where I just feel like
No, it's a tiny market, and the long-term holder balances are so high. So those are like multiples on top of each other.
are so
with-
high.
Like the long-term holder balances that really aren't that liquid are high, so there's not much available supply to be traded around these prices. And then it's pretty tiny market cap on a relative basis.
Oh my god, I mean even compared to Dogecoin or XRP, I mean don't even get us started.
Yeah, I think XRP, the market cap's a little bit of an illusion because like 50% is held
Right.
by Ripple.
Right.
It's like, but still $100 billion
Right. Yeah.
is a lot.
Yo,
What's up?
record me doing a front flip
Right now?
over there. Yeah.
On your bike?
No, I'm
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah, go for it.
no, like a burn up.
Don't hurt yourself though.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Come on, over there.
Well, I think
All right, this kid's. Yeah, I can tell him where the upload will be.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh! Good job. Did that hurt a little bit? You're good?
I heard a little bit. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's.
well, that was cool. He didn't even expect a copy or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna tell him.
Yeah, well, he just wants the world to see.
Yeah. Kids, especially.
Okay, you should show that.
I'm from the halal.
Let me see how long this walk is here.
Auntie's still trying to catch her breath.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I might have to take this because it's like
Take the subway.
25 minutes and I gotta be there by 6. It'll be close if we walk, but I might go down here. You can come with me if you want.
I think I'm gonna.
You just hang around
Where are
here.
you going? You go back to where you're.
Yeah, I gotta go back to my apartment.
I think I'm just gonna walk.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, it was
All right,
good
sir.
hanging out
Yeah,
with you.
it was
Appreciate it.
excellent. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
coming out. Great
For sure. Yeah, thanks for meeting me. Yeah, I won't show you. I'll point this way.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your trip. All right, guys. We're going back. Home. That dude with the backpack was pretty huge. Nick.
Close the door, please. This is 42nd Street, Port Authority bus terminal. Transfer is available to the 1, 2, 3, 7, D,
Я не хочу на неделю. На неделю. Там что Джафар тоже пропустит 3-4 дня. Там 6 пятницы, суббота, воскресенье тоже. У тебя глаза красные, собака не уснула.
Excuse me. No way. Alright guys, if this is still connected, then I have almost made it.
Ah, 我们也去外面的人给我是都那个